That's a fair ball in the corner, and the Cardinals are going to win Game 1.
They didn't want to lose. We didn't want to lose. This is what it's all about.
The postseason is decided by who can perform in the tensest of moments and who can recover from the mental strain faster. The NLCS continues at Game 2.
Game 1 was a 13-inning marathon, which ended with a sprint to the plate. 14 and a half hours later, we are ready to do it again here on TBS. 2013 National League Championship Series coverage is presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. National League Championship Series, Game 2 in the best of 7 between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Cal Ripken and Ron Darling. Welcome back to our coverage here from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Well, drama here before Game 2. No Hanley Ramirez for the Dodgers. You heard the guys talking about it in the pregame show. What's your take?
Well, just terrible news for the Dodgers to get 1 hour before the game. Of course, he sustained the injury. Joe Kelly hit him in his first at-bat in the ribs, trying to make a catch a little later. Seemed like he strained it again, and the bruised ribs are going to take Hanley out of the game. That if it's not must-win, it's pretty close.
So Ramirez out, Nick Punto in. And while they don't have Ramirez, they do have Clayton Kershaw, their ace on the mound.
Well, he's the known. Going to win his second Cy Young later this year. You can see his numbers in the NLDS. And Michael Walker went to the minor leagues, found his curveball, has been almost unhittable since.
Been flirting with no hitters his last couple of starts. Meantime, the storyline from Game 1, 2 words: Carlos Beltran.
Well, he's already considered one of the best hitters in postseason history. 16 bombs in the postseason, 345 average, and also a slugging percentage that's better than Babe Ruth. And here he is last night, a big double off the wall off Greinke that drives in 2 big runs to tie it. And then you can credit him with a save on this great throw to Molina at home plate. And just for fun, let's throw in the game winner right here. Down the line, sends everybody else home, gives them a 1-0 lead in the series.
40 postseason games for Carlos Beltran, 34 runs batted in. We've got a beautiful day here in St. Louis, got a dynamite pitching matchup, and we're glad you're with us here on TBS. The first pitch of Game 2, just around the bend.
The 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS, presented by the Venture Card from Capital One, and brought to you in part by Ford. For more Behind the Mic powered by Ford, go to BleacherReport.com/Behind the Mic. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by T-Mobile.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Oh, did I mention? It's a beautiful day. Had some early morning rain, all that's gone, and bright sunshine here for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Today's batting order brought to you by the Venture Card from Capital One. Different look to the LA batting order. Carl Crawford, that stays the same as he leads off with Mark Ellis second. Everybody else moving up. Adrian Gonzalez into the 3-hole. Puig hits cleanup. Uribe in the 5 spot. Skip Schumacher is back in center field. Ethier played last night, but long night, and he will not start today. A.J. Ellis is the catcher, hitting 7th. Nick Punto is in there for Hanley Ramirez, hits 8th. And Clayton Kershaw doing the pitching. Michael Wacha is on the mound. Pedro's favorite guy, just likes to say the name.
When we talked to manager Mike Matheny about Walker, he said his makeup is off the charts. His last start in the regular season, he went 8 2/3, lost his no-hit bid on the hit by Ryan Zimmerman, and his first postseason start was outstanding, also only giving up a hit in 7 1/3 innings.
Yeah, took a no-hitter into the 8th before giving up a home run to Pedro Alvarez. How about the Cardinal defense, Iron Man?
Yeah, it's about the same. You got Matt Holliday in left, John Jay in center. Last night's hero with 3 Gold Gloves, Carlos Beltran. David Freese at third base, Peter Cosma at shortstop, Carpenter and Adams on the right side of the infield. And behind the plate, Yadier Molina with his 5 Gold Gloves, Michael Wacha on the mound.
It's funny, we talked to Mike Matheny before the game, so boy, you You catch a 13-inning game the night before, and of course obviously it's postseason time. Yadi's going to be in there, and if I even tried to take him out of that game, I'd have a fight on my hands.
I prefaced it by saying, what about the regular season? He said, I still have a fight on my hands. He wants to play.
Carl Crawford steps in. Michael Wacha into the line, and there's the first pitch of game 2. A ball and no strikes. Mark Carlson calling the balls and strikes today in game 2. Down even 1-1. Wacha likes to work quickly.
Very interesting. Joe Kelly started the game off with a curveball last night, first pitch. Same with Wacha.
The first thing I noticed, and I think the viewers at home notice, is why is it so dark around home plate? It's those shadows again for the odd start time, and they play a factor. They certainly do. It's hard to pick up the ball, especially the breaking ball.
Tried to paint the corner and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford was 2 out of 6 in the opener with a strikeout, hitting .348 in the postseason. Popped up over there by third. Freeze is called off by Cosma for the first out.
I like Cosma calling him off there. He had a better angle away from the sun. It's a much easier play for the shortstop. You could tell David Freese was struggling right away.
Here's Mark Ellis, 2 for 5 last night. He was the guy cut down at the plate by Beltran, trying to break the tie. Quickly, Wacha ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
And Mark Ellis didn't like either of those calls by home plate umpire Mark Carlson.
Looked like the curveball, the second one, didn't quite come down enough. Stayed up, high strike.
Stayed alive, still 0-2. Wacha pitched in 15 games, made 9 starts this year. Was 3-1 as a starter, ERA under 3, 2.85.
There's a straight change at 89 miles an hour to go with that high fastball. Good velocity fastball on the hook.
And Ronnie, it's the improved curveball part of his arsenal that's really helped Wacha.
Yeah, sent down to the minor leagues, rediscovered that breaking ball. And honestly, it's given him that great third weapon to go along with his best pitch, the changeup, and that good gas.
Payoff pitch. Lined into left field. That's a base hit for Ellis. Holiday sliding to corral it, and Ellis stumbled around first and will have to go back.
Just a fastball that drifts back over the middle of the plate. Nice play by Holiday, sliding to get this baseball.
A great effort, and one of the techniques is to slide so you can stop your momentum and make a throw. He was going to go until he stumbled right there. He was going to challenge the arm. Matt Holiday then thought better of it, going back to first base.
Now here's Adrian Gonzalez with a man on and 1 down. Takes 1-0. We've got to get into this, guys, because you brought it out last night when Don Mattingly chose to pinch run for Gonzalez with D. Gordon late in the game when it was tied. And I know, Cal, you said right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of this move because you were taking 100 RBIs out of a game that could go to extra innings.
Yeah, 2 schools of thought on here. You want to go for the pinch runner and kind of win the game right at that moment. It's an aggressive move. I side on the fact of I want that big bat in the lineup. The number 4 hitter there. If it was me running on first base, I wouldn't want to come off the first base bag. I'm staying in this game. his at-bat did come up 2 other times in crucial situations. So it's one of those that you go back and maybe you second-guess your decision.
And Michael Young grounding into a double play, and it was his fly ball to right that Beltran turned into a double play when he threw Ellis out at the plate. A ball and a strike. So Gonzalez in the 3-hole today with Ramirez out. Mattingly basically took everybody and shifted him up a spot, put Puno in the 8-hole.
You know, Don Mattingly was saying that, you know, it was a deal where he wanted to go for the strike, go for the run. I don't think Dee Gordon has enough time for me that he's going to be an automatic swipe second base, steal second base at this point in his career.
And part of the logic is he's on the roster for that reason, and you're looking to use him. Maybe just the scenario might have come later in the game with Ellis on third base. In a tagging situation, you might have wanted your pinch runner to run at that point.
Maybe he could have beat the throw of Carlos Beltran.
I don't think so. It would have been closer, though.
Gonzalez goes down swinging for out number 2 here in the first. Take you back to last night, and Dee Gordon forced at second on that ball deep in the hole.
Yeah, I'm part of a runner and substituting a runner is I was surprised he didn't make that closer and almost beat that, but you can tell he bluffed or he was going to run, didn't get the jump, and lost all his secondary momentum. I was expecting, with all the experience that I've had in shortstop, when you go in the hole like that in a fast runner on first base, it's going to be a bang-bang play. And that could have been a good reason to pinch run him to get to second base on that and then create a rally.
Here's Puig hitting cleanup today. Basically, he got stuck on the left foot, and then the throw by Cosma got him by a hair.
Well, non-base stealers like myself would always focus on being consistent with your secondary. When you have other things to worry about, sometimes that timing can throw the secondary lead off.
A ball and a strike to the 22-year-old who takes the strike 1 and 2.
Walker just gets that great angle where the young pitchers that throw straight over the top, that ball stays true to the corner.
Line foul.
Now, I mentioned earlier a breaking ball is tough to see in the shadows. And here's the reason why, and a changeup falls in the same category, is you can't see the depth of the pitch. Many times you can time the fastball, you kind of understand what 95 is, and kind of go to where you think the ball is. But you need to track a breaking ball or a changeup much better to hit it. And these conditions don't let you track it very well.
Puig, who went 0 for 6 in the opener, had 19 home runs and 42 runs batted in the regular season. This is the Dodgers' first look at Waka. The Cardinals, meantime, have seen Clayton Kershaw twice and beaten him twice this year. There goes Ellis on the 1-2 is low. Huge jump by the Dodgers second baseman.
An element of surprise, just trying to time him, but also with a 1-2 count, you know, there's not a whole lot to lose. You take a chance there, you'll have Puig leading off the inning for the next inning, but now you're rewarded with a guy in scoring position and a chance for Yasiel to drive him in.
Puig has knocked in 2 runs in this postseason. But he goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Waka to end the first. And we'll be back. We head to the bottom half of the first here in St. Louis. The batting order brought to you by the Venture Card from Capital One. Matt Carpenter leads it off. Last night's hero, Carlos Beltran, hitting second. Holiday is hitting third, and Molina will hit cleanup today against the left-hander Kershaw. David Freese in the 5-hole. Matt Adams, who had hit cleanup last night, is in the 6-hole. Then it's John Jay, Pete Kozma, and Michael Wacha against Clayton Kershaw.
Well, Clayton Kershaw, regular season, his record is 77-46. If you take in all the starts this year, including his postseason win, 17-9 this year, and already has 249 innings pitched.
Matt Carpenter steps in to lead it off for St. Louis. 1 out of 4 in the opener, but just 2 for 23 in the postseason. Swinging at the first pitch and driving it into the gap. He won't get there. The ball is off the wall. Carpenter rounds second on his way to third, and he will be in there. A lead-off triple for Matt Carpenter.
Just a bullet in the gap, which with great speed, he thought he had a chance at it, takes an angle, slips and falls, and then doesn't pick it up the first time, which enables Matt Carpenter going to third base with a leadoff triple.
The first tug at Superman's cape, Matt Carpenter.
And here's Beltran, who knocked in all 3 St. Louis runs in the opener. Swinging at the first pitch and popping it up. Uribe calls, and that's out number 1. Big out.
Nice job by Uribe taking charge. That looked like it was going to be a problem for a while. The pitcher's role in that, if you can, is once you recognize who's going to get it, yell his name over and over, so you have a couple people calling Uribe's name.
You got the sun to deal with, and the ball wasn't hit that high for the corners to get in there, so sometimes it's okay for the pitcher to take control and call that ball. You'd have caught it.
Absolutely.
Here's Matt Holliday. 1 ball and no strikes.
Get out of the way of Uribe.
Cut right through a fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, in playoff baseball, we talked about this yesterday. You're not willing to give up any runs in any inning. So the infield's tight, trying to cut off this run.
Shadows play a part for the infielders when they play in tight like this? I would think so.
You know, many times it's hard to pick the ball up off the bat. Normally when it's bright in the backdrop with many different white colored shirts, but right now you have contrasting conditions and your eyes don't adjust really well to that. So yeah, it's just as tough for the fielders coming off the bat.
We've got a lot of fans waving white towels here in St. Louis. It's 1-2 with a runner at third. Holliday waiting on Kershaw. In the dirt, Ellis blocked it. Count even. We talked to Mike Matheny and said, you've had success, you've beaten Kershaw twice. Is there a mindset that your hitters take to the plate? He said John Mabry really works with these guys on an individual basis as to what their approach should be. He said mostly you just got to grind out at bats against this guy. Carpenter got it going, swinging at the first pitch. And is at third with a triple with 1 down. Holliday goes down swinging for out number 2. And here's Molina.
Well, about as tight a spin as you're going to see on a breaking ball, about as big of a break are you going to see in a breaking ball from Kershaw. It's the optical illusion that it almost starts to go up out of his hand and then start to break.
And tracking that in the sunlight conditions in the shade makes it even harder. Holliday had Kershaw's number a little bit. Good at bats, hitting 300 lifetime off of him.
Molina swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. 0-1.
I like the Cardinal approach. I mean, we had the Braves earlier, and they talked about a collective approach, trying to wear Kershaw down, make him throw some more pitches. But I believe that each individual hitter hits a certain way. And so you should take what you have and then apply it to that pitcher and then grind it out any way you can.
In tight with the 0-1, count even. So Molina trying to get done what Beltran and Holiday could not. Let's get Carpenter in from third after that leadoff triple. Chevy pitch tracks on Kershaw. And Molina steps out.
One thing you can get with Carpenter at third base, because of the left-handed Kershaw, his back in the stretch is to Carpenter. He can get a huge lead in case one of those curveballs gets away from Ellis.
Grounded up the middle. Gloved by Punto, who handles his first chance, and it was a biggie. Leadoff triple comes to nothing for St. Louis. We head to the second.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. The Dodgers coming to bat in the top of the second inning. Not only has Hanley Ramirez been scratched from the lineup, but a few moments ago, down below with the medical staff, he tried to swing a bat. He was not able to after getting hit in the ribs last night. It could be more serious than first thought. He has left the locker room. He's on his way to get x-rays. Andre Ethier starting for the first time in the postseason yesterday. He'd been bothered with that ankle. He came to the ballpark sore and stiff. He also is out of the lineup. As for the starting pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, well, a long night. He left the ballpark in the 8th inning. The Cardinals Hotel and also the Dodgers Hotel right next door. He told the skipper, hey, if you need me to come back to pinch hit, I will. But they didn't need him, so he watched the end of the game comfortably in bed.
Thank you very much, Craig. Juan Uribe leading it off for the Dodgers here in the second. He's been hot, knocked in 2 runs in each of the last 3 games for the Dodgers. One from Waka. On the ground, just short. Ozzie throws a strike, 1 down. There's easier ways to get back into the flow than what Punto had right here, Cal.
Well, when I was watching that, it looked like he got caught in between in a middle hop, but he played that on the run. He's a good fielder anyway, but he made that look a lot easier than it actually was.
That's the way the first ended, as Kershaw stranded Carpenter, who had tripled. It was like Kershaw got punched in the mouth. First pitch, triple to the wall, and he was able to bear down and get out of the inning.
The in-between hop, you know, just if it's close to you, that short hop, you can reach out and get it. If it's long, you have time to view it. But if you get caught in between, it's almost a guesswork to where the ball is going to bounce.
Schumacher takes 2 balls and a strike. He's back in center field. You heard Craig Sager's report, and we talked about Ethier playing last night as Cosma fields this on the line. That's easy. 2 down. To get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinions from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic, powered by Ford, on BleacherReport.com/BehindTheMic. So Don Mattingly telling us that before the game, Ethier possibly available if they were going to double switch and could probably play later, but not going to start him today after the long night in Game 1.
That was a tough position, having not played in a while, to actually then log that many innings. But as the game went on, he was almost locked in. Schumacher was used as a pinch hitter, and he had to do that.
The 1-0 hit to center. John Jay shields his eyes. Had him played perfectly. 1-2-3 inning from Michael Waka. Heading to the bottom of the second. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Bottom of the second in St. Louis. Great day to fly. And you see a day like this with the bright sunshine, and now we see Kershaw in the sun and then shade and the batter in the sun. That's David Freese who leads it off here in the bottom half of the second. John Smoltz always say that he would ask his catcher, what are you having trouble seeing? He said that he figured, okay, then the hitter's having trouble seeing that pitch too.
That's what I'm going with,
yeah.
Right?
On the ground to third, Uribe.
You're just keeping a poll on some of the more sharply hit balls to this point. All fastballs. Ellis hit the ball down the line. Carpenter hit the triple in the gap. I think Uribe hit a hard ball, and they were all on fastballs. You just start to time the fastball. Not real good swings on the off-speed pitches so far. It's going to be a tough day for the hitters, for sure. Because this shadow is going to continue different elements of it all the way probably to the 7th or 8th inning of the game.
In the dirt to Matt Adams, 1-0.
This is what you see.
That's a great shot.
Our guys are the best.
That is just a great shot. Gives you a perspective of what the hitter is feeling.
Unfortunately for the hitters, not coming in that slowly. That's our great camera back there, but man, I can just imagine, Cal, what your approach would be when you're facing that. Adams lines it to first, and that's 2 down. So what do you do at the plate, Cal?
Well, I used to, again, try to look for the fastball and try to lay off the breaking balls as best you can, because you need to track the breaking ball, and there's a depth and a changing speed. But the consistent part of the fastball, generally speaking, how hard that guy's throwing that day, so it's a little bit more of a timing. So I would look for fastball all the time.
And I think it's no coincidence that we're having a lot of 2 and 3 pitch at bats, because guys are trying to be very aggressive.
John Jay with a big cut. 0-1.
Don't get me wrong, it's not real easy to see the fastball either. But of the two, and hitting is about timing, you can time the fastball a little bit better. Umpires are affected, catchers are affected.
Small ballparks, no foul territory. You got to give us a couple of days like this every once in a while.
Kershaw ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Jay was 0 for 5 in the opener.
I saw Oral Hershiser running around here covering the game, and reminded me of the matchup between him and Messina in Cleveland under similar circumstances. And again, the whole first 8 innings, was 0-0. The game really didn't start until the 9th, in my opinion. 2 good pitchers taking advantage of the shadows.
The 2-2 pitch. On the ground to second. Ellis to Gonzalez. And a 1-2-3 inning for Kershaw. 2 innings in the books in St. Louis. MLB Fan Cave is coming back in 2014. Players, celebrities, concerts, and more. You can be part of next season's team. Go to MLBFanCave.com and apply right now. Top of the third here in St. Louis, and Nick Punto will lead it off. If you're just joining us, he's the starting shortstop today. Hanley Ramirez not playing. It was announced as bruised ribs after he took that pitch last night. Stayed in the game the rest of the night, but got to the ballpark today, and the training staff took a look at him and As Craig Sager reported earlier in this game, he has been taken for x-rays. Punto is Danny DeVito's favorite player. The actor at a game was sporting the Punto jersey, and Nick obliged with one of his 2 home runs of the night, of the season rather.
I was at that game. It was interesting to see Punto towering over DeVito.
That was Ron Darling, folks. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the count full. Third strikeout of the day for Michael Wacha. We've been talking a lot about the sun in the shade, and there's a guy who's always got it made in the shade, Craig Sager.
Well, EJ, it's very hard and difficult, obviously, to focus on the pitch. You're trying to do it as quickly as possible. Now, studies have indicated that the direction and trajectory of the pitch are the first bits of information that are sent to the brain. But they're saying that the most difficult, and therefore the thing that takes the most time, is for your brain to process, and involves the speed of the pitch. So as a hitter, Cal, what are you looking for up there?
The fastball, it seems like you made my case for me. That looking for the speed of the pitch, or the changes in speed, is what the brain can't process that quickly. Your eyes can see it, and you got to guess where it is.
Cosmo throws out Kershaw for out number 2. Last inning we saw Adrian Gonzalez at first.
This is a great view right here to see what Adrian Gonzalez is looking at. Dark, light, and it's dark again, and it comes back in the light. Now this ball was hit off the end of the bat, but it looks like it's coming 1,000 miles an hour. Egon stays with it and makes the play.
And we're talking about a first baseman with as good a hands as there are in baseball.
Top of the Dodger order, Carl Crawford takes a strike. He popped up his first time. And he's behind. No balls and 2 strikes. In the air to left field. Holiday makes the play. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Michael Wacha. Middle of the 3rd in game 2. The sun and the shade making it very tough for the hitters here in game 2. Michael Wacha. Now you don't see me. Now you do. And for Nick Punto, a little late. Eight, 9, and 1 due for the Cardinals against Clayton Kershaw in the bottom half of the 3rd. Cosma is 4 for 5 career against Clayton Kershaw. One of those days he went 4 for 4, had a bases loaded double. Off the end of the bat. Almost threw him out. Kershaw had a little funny finish there as he hit the mound.
He tried to reach back with his foot to try to stop the ball from going up the middle, and almost did the splits. Why don't you try to stick his foot out?
towards the tail end of my career, people were really experimenting with different types of sunglasses in these conditions. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen some of the hitters come up. Maybe the second time around, they're going to say, I got to do something to see the ball. Juan Uribe is using his sunglasses really nice on the top of his head.
Here's Michael Wacha. And quickly Kershaw is ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
The different lenses, the yellow lens or something that brightens the area that you're around would make it a little easier.
Just missed a ball and 2 strikes. Now, back when you were playing, Cal, you had the old
Flip downs.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. And yes, we did.
They had a certain charm in their own right as Wacha goes down swinging.
Well, if you're playing in Oakland in that high sky, you need a little bit more. And those flip down sunglasses provided you a whole lot more. I can't think of the right word. It cut the sun a whole lot better than wearing the glasses that you can see everything with.
You'd have a hard time finding a lot of players who would know how to use the flip down glasses today.
Top of the order now, Matt Carpenter, who tripled on the first pitch he saw in the bottom of the first, but the Cardinals couldn't get him in. Beltran popped up, Holiday struck out, Molina grounded out. So we are still scoreless here in the bottom half of the third.
Pretty good pitch right there. After he hit that fastball, he didn't hurt his feelings. He's thrown 2 more, 1 away and 1 in.
Punto throwing on the run and got him. 3 up, 3 down for Kershaw. 3 in the books in game 2. The end of the game is just the start of the story. Unguarded with Rachel Nichols premieres Friday night, October 25th, 10:30 Eastern and Pacific on CNN. Top of the fourth, the 2-3-4 hitters due for the Dodgers against Michael Wacha. Mark Ellis singled sharply to left his first time, but the Dodgers couldn't move him along. No balls and a strike. That game last night, going 13 innings, was the 13th time that an LCS game has gone extra innings. And in the previous 12, the winner of that game went on to win the series. I'm not suggesting we pack up and go home and this thing's over, but it is one of those interesting tidbits to chew on. Great way to start this series last night. Tough, tight ball game. Came down to Beltran in the 13th.
There's got to be something to that. I'm still trying to figure out why. What's the significance of playing the long game and winning it that gives you an advantage in the series?
It may be one of those scientific things we have to turn over to Segs, like the sun and the shade and the speed and the
math. Hitters in the postseason are 1 for 20 when they have 2 strikes on him against Wacha. He's got 3 different weapons: the 94 plus mile-an-hour fastball, great changeup, and the curveball to put you away.
Once again, Mark McGuire in the ear of Yasiel Puig. Grounded to third. Puig throws across for the first out.
You know, guys, if you wanted to think of any theme about St. Louis pitching, you look at Wacha, and his makeup is off the charts. They say he's an incredibly hard worker. He's a sponge in listening to Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright. But one thing they do, the Cardinals, as a staff, they throw 2 pitches, secondary pitches over for strikes, and that's what he does. He went down to the minor leagues, he learned his curveball to get that over, and he's got that great changeup. And all of their pitchers, Joe Kelly last night, can throw their secondary pitches for strikes at any time.
Yeah, to add to what you said is it starts with a great arm, and that jumps out at you. If you have a great command of a great arm, then your secondary pitches are much more effective.
In the air to center. Jay, a little bit of a late start, got his bearings and squeezed it for the second out.
It's when the ball actually gets in the sun, and many outfitters use their glove to shield the sun. And it's a panic situation when you can't see it right away. You have to tell yourself it's going to come out sometime. Jay does it very routinely out there in center, though. Very smooth.
So Puig at the plate with 2 down. Struck out his first time. Fooled him. Ball and a strike. Walker very poised, product of Texas A&M, where he went 27-7. Took the Aggies to the College World Series. Ball and 2 strikes. And you look at the bookends on his season. First start was against the Royals, where he gave up 1 run on 2 hits in 7, then nearly threw a no-hitter in his last regular season start.
I think that's the best example of the angle. It comes over top, and it is right in the bottom of the strike zone, a little low, but to the hitter, it's perceived as way low. Remember old Dan Plesac, when he was with Milwaukee, probably made it feel like a tall left-hander, threw over the top, threw very hard, and it almost felt like it was coming straight down into the strike zone.
2-2. Puig stays alive.
I know he had a tough season this year, but in today's game, Josh Johnson of the Toronto Blue Jays is a guy that, when he was at his best, straight over the top, and that ball looked like it was going to end up below the strike zone, but it would stay true at the bottom. Walker has that.
Seals putting on a nice at bat, battling. I think that was a slider. We hadn't seen that. 88-mile-an-hour slider or a version of his changeup.
I think it was just a hard changeup inside. Hard changeup. Oxymoron, I guess.
$46,000 plus wanted it. Walker's not getting it. 3-2.
Like you said, good at bat here by Yasiel Puig.
But he got him there. 4th strikeout for Walker. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's golf's most exclusive event, major champions only, the 2013 PGA Grand Slam of Golf from the Port Royal Golf Course in Bermuda. It all starts Tuesday, October 15th at 4 o'clock Eastern on TNT. Bottom of the 4th, Carlos Beltran takes a strike. Remember watching Beltran play a few seasons ago, right after he'd had right knee surgery. And there were lots of questions about how he was going to come back from that. As he takes another strike. And he wasn't trying to do too much at that point. It looked like it really affected his mobility. And he had said at that time, our time will come, my time will come. Well, St. Louis fans not doubting that for a moment. As he has added to his incredible postseason resume already in this series. And and finding his way back from that right knee surgery to be a real force for this team. He popped up his first time with Carpenter standing on third. Just missed and the count full to Beltran. He's 6 for 24 in the postseason with 9 runs batted in. And he draws a walk to lead off the fourth. Moments ago, we spoke with Dodgers manager Don Mattingly in the dugout, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Hey, Don, can you kind of take me through the events of when Hanley Ramirez got to the ballpark and you had to make the decision that he wasn't going to go today?
Well, really, we just had him in there from the beginning thinking he was going to be able to go. At that point, wanted to put the lineup up early and not talking to Hanley. Knew he was sore once he finally got here. And then we kind of tried to loosen him up, took him into the cage, let him take a few swings, and once he did that, we knew they knew he wasn't going to be able to go.
Hey, Donnie, tough conditions to hit right now. The shadows, and you talk about making an adjustment, or you just have to grind it out and do the best you can.
We're just trying to grind it out. These two guys, both guys with good stuff, and I don't think it's going to get any easier. It looks like it's going to just keep getting worse. So, it's going to be one of those games you feel like it's going to be low scoring. If we can put a run or two up, it may be enough.
Thanks to Don Mattingly, and as you listened to his comments from between innings, you saw the double play turn 6-4-3 to erase the leadoff walk to Beltran. And here's Yadier Molina. We talked about the effect on the hitter with the sun and the shadows early. Now you're getting into a position where the pitcher's going to be right in the sun here, Ronnie. What's that like for you?
Well, you don't mind it if there's different conditions for the hitter. I think what the double-edged sword is, these guys are so talented. The hitters are going up and being so aggressive. The pitch counts are both down. So you're going to be seeing these guys late into the ball game if they continue to pitch the way they're pitching.
Does the glare get in your eyes and so you can't see where you're throwing the ball?
Sometimes it does. But you just pull your cap down a little bit, kind of lower your eyes in the strike zone, maybe block it with the glove.
That last image kind of a Cy Young silhouette of Clayton Kershaw.
The thing that's a little scary is that when you follow through, when you have the sun, you can sometimes lose track of the ball off the bat.
On the ground to third, Uribe, nice stop. And retires Molina. 4 innings in the books in Game 2 of the NLCS.
The 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS. Brought to you by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead. And by iShares by BlackRock. Visit iShares.com to learn more.
Welcome back to St. Louis. The Dodgers and the Cardinals each have 1 hit, both coming in the first inning. And we are moving to the 5th. Juan Uribe tried to check his swing, but did not. Mike Everett makes the call down at first. Michael Wacha into the wind. Fouled back 0-2. So the Dodgers have played 5 postseason games. Uribe has 6 runs batted in. And he goes down on 3 pitches as Molina throws down to Adams to complete the strikeout. In the dugout, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Moments ago, we spoke with Cardinals manager Mike Matheny. Mike, we've talked up here in the course of this game about just the conditions in the day game here in St. Louis. Lots of sun, lots of shadows, and the effect they're having. What's your take?
Well, I think most stadiums about this time of day have the same thing going on in the fall, and it's just it's something that both teams have to deal with. There's really not an advantage either way.
Nice to see Matt Carpenter break out with that triple.
Yeah, sure was. It'd been nice to capitalize on. We had the guys up there that we wanted to, but good pitchers bear down, make you earn it. And he got out, and that was a tough spot for us. We'd love to have got something going positive.
Thanks to Mike Matheny. That Carpenter triple came on the first pitch of the bottom of the first, but the Cardinals stranded him there.
I thought it was interesting, his answer to the shadows. It was almost like, can't complain about it. Just get the job done.
Don't tell me how rough the seas are. Just bring the ship in. All in 2 strikes. Schumacher fouls it off.
If you include this start, Walker in his last 3 starts, 20 1/3 innings pitched, only 3 hits and a run.
Checks. And Teddy Barrett down there at third says he didn't go. Schumacher grounded to Cosma his first time. And he bats here in the 5th. Tapped slowly to second. Easy play for Carpenter. 2 up and 2 down.
Five ground ball outs now for Walker. He spends most of his time in the bottom part of the strike zone.
Also 5 strikeouts through 4 2/3. Here's the Dodgers catcher, A.J. Ellis. 94 for a strike, 0-1. Pretty well hit to the gap in left center field. Jay on the move. He won't get there. That ball is off the wall and into the stands for a ground rule double. So A.J. Ellis connects here in the 5th. The Dodgers have a runner in scoring position.
And a fastball at 94. Again, in my poll here, all the balls that have been hit hard have been off the fastball. Just missed hit this ball out of the ballpark.
One of the few hitters that has gotten 2 fastballs in a row from Walker.
And that will bring up Nick Punto.
I saw Schumacher's half swinging a couple change-ups. And again, it's the deceptive part of that is it looks like the fastball you can't hold up, and the conditions actually contribute to that. You just can't tell your pitcher not to throw fastballs.
The infielders got together with Molina and Walker, went over what sign they're going to use.
Down low, 1-0. Punto struck out his first time, leading off the 3rd.
He couldn't get them out against the Braves, but have struggled so far early.
It's a good sign when your middle infielders don't have to come in and find out what sign until the middle of the game.
Got to be careful here. You got that National League situation. 8th place hitter, pitcher on deck. Only problem is Kershaw had 10 RBIs during the regular season.
No pitcher had more. He waits in the on-deck circle. Punto, if you're just joining us, getting this started short today. Hanley Ramirez out for the Dodgers. Big cut. Came up empty, 2 balls and a strike.
Not that he wouldn't have thrown the 2-0 change up there. It seemed like the right pitch with first base open. Less of a risk with the pitcher on deck.
I'll tell you, you do know as a pitcher when you're pitching against a guy like Kershaw in these kind of conditions, 1 run could beat you.
Ellis with the lead at second. Walk out of the plate and the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You see the fake by Molina. They had put a play on. If Punto had not made contact, he was going to pick off the runner Ellis at second base.
Yeah, you can see him turn his glove a little bit, got eye contact with one of the middle infielders and turned his glove, saying, hey, I'm coming up throwing. A subtle move, the one that you and I both picked up.
Misses with the 2-2 and the count full.
See his eyes locked into the shortstop. That's all you need sometimes.
Sometimes you show the open glove, and he'll show the open glove back, or you'll twist it to get his attention. It's when you make that move, when nobody else is looking.
Payoff pitch to Nick Punto. Strike 3 called. A toss of the bat by Punto. And Waka heads to the dugout. He's shut him out through 5. The 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. Beautiful day here in St. Louis for Game 2. Games 3, 4, and 5 at Chavez Ravine on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. David Freese will lead it off against Clayton Kershaw in the bottom of the 5th. Scoreless. Freese grounded to third his first time. In the dirt, count even, ball and a strike.
We gave you Walker's numbers in his last 3 starts. Kershaw's number in this postseason, 17 innings pitched, only an earned run and 7 hits. So both pitchers at the top of their game.
A ball and 2 strikes. Kershaw's ERA in his career against the Cardinals is 3.75. That's his highest against any National League team.
Losing record against them in 12 starts.
4 and 5 and 0 and 2 this year. In fact, one of those losses here in this ballpark when the Dodgers came in with that 15-game road winning streak. Well hit over third. Base hit and into the corner. Crawford chases it down, and it's a leadoff double here in the 5th for David Freese.
Not a fastball right here. An overhand hook. David stays on it, sees it well, and lines it down to the left field corner.
It's really the first curveball with a good swing on it by Freese. I wonder if the shadows are becoming less of a factor.
We saw Crawford position himself to play that carom, and it really took off. Almost got past him. Here's Adams. Well, the Cardinals in the first got a leadoff triple out of Matt Carpenter, but they stranded him there. A pop-up, a strikeout, and a ground-out. Here in the 5th, it's a leadoff double by David Freese. That ball just got A.J. Ellis and Freese to third.
There are some instances where catchers are trying so hard to frame that ball perfectly that they don't get it in the pocket. And that's what happened to Ellis there.
Now we've got that first inning situation again here in the 5th. Runner at third, nobody out. Away. 3 balls and no strikes.
Just peering at the infield defense. And the shift, ordinarily when you bring your infield in, you're coming to stop the angle, to cover more territory. But they still have a mini shift on with the infield in.
Aggressive with Adams there, swinging 3-0.
Molina swung 3-0, hit a hard ground ball. They're not afraid to swing 3-0.
Full count to big Matt Adams. "17 home runs in the regular season, 51 runs batted in. He has gone deep here in the postseason against the Pirates. 3-2. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Clayton Kershaw.
This is some kind of stepping up by Kershaw. First fastball down, of course the one that went to the backstop, and then missed again upstairs, but got back in it by the swinging foul ball by Adams, a fastball up, and then slider away. Nasty.
Now here's John Jay. Dodger infield in, scoreless game in the 5th. And Jay takes outside.
If you're thinking about a safety or squeeze bunt, Jay's probably one of the best bunters on the team. Jose Oquendo will give the sign. If it's on, he will tell the base runner freeze. Yay or nay.
1-1.
If you're an infielder and you're suspecting that there might be a squeeze, a suicide squeeze, one of the indicators is the answer back from the batter to the third base coach, because everyone needs to know, hey, we're on the same page here. So I used to always key on the hitter to see if he was doing anything different in this situation.
Here comes Freeze, and the bunt is fouled back. Great look at the language of baseball. Matheny to Oquendo, Oquendo to Freeze. Now a ball and 2 strikes.
That was disguised so well. That's what makes it a tough bunt, because Jay doesn't square around till so late.
Fly ball left field. Freeze will tag. Crawford with the catch. The throw to the plate, offline, and the Cardinals are on the board. It's 1-0.
Crawford doesn't possess the strongest arm, and you knew they were going to test him right there. His ball leaks more towards the middle of the infield, and no play at the plate.
It's interesting, Uribe just then threw the ball over to Punto at third base. They appealed to see if Freeze left early. Said Barrett, no call.
Here's Cosma. Well, Kershaw worked his way out of that first inning trouble with the leadoff triple. But here a leadoff double, then the pass ball that got Freeze to third. And Jay brings him in with the sacrifice fly to left. So it's 1-0, bottom 5. And Adrian Gonzalez will squeeze that for the 3rd out. But the Cardinals get on the board. David Freese scores the game's first run. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-WHAT, Ron?
DirecTV.
Thank you very much. We are zipping right along, top half of the 6th.
Conditions to me seem a little bit more even right now. Maybe the sun went in behind the cloud. If you're the hitter, you want to run to home plate right now.
Clayton Kershaw leading it off against Michael Wacha. So we saw Kershaw in Game 4 of the NLDS, and now here in Game 2 of the NLCS, and all 3 runs he's allowed unearned. And look at Kershaw. We told you he could handle the bat. Leadoff single to left. Here's how the only run of the game has scored. Freese tagging up on the fly ball to left.
Well, that might be the only mistake Walker's made so far. Threw an 0-2 changeup to a pitcher. A changeup to a pitcher is a very hittable pitch because that's their bat speed.
Top of the order now with Carl Crawford, who's 0 for 2. Pop to short, fly to left. Walker's allowed only 3 hits. On the ground, great stop by Carpenter, but then he throws the ball away and Kershaw is on his way to 3rd. Tim Wallach will hold him up right there, and the runners are at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
Yeah, this was a great play, but it may be a mistaken judgment to try to force the runner at second base. Felt he had a little time, long throw, would have been safe anyway, and now you're in a 2nd and 3rd situation.
I think what Carpenter was thinking here is that Crawford's running on the play. He's not going to get him at first base. Of course, the pitcher's going to be a little slower. Let's take a chance at him. He also had to step over the baseball, did Kershaw. But throw way offline, and Kershaw's going to be safe even with a good throw.
I think he had an outside chance at making a short, hard throw to get Crawford, but little chance to get Kershaw going in the 2nd.
Infield hit for Crawford. Runners advance on the error. And so moments after getting on the board, the Cardinals in trouble here in the top half of the 6th. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out for Mark Ellis.
Ellis has been good in this role all year long. Man on 3rd, less than 2 outs, batted .563.
I think it's interesting right now, defensively, they're trying to discourage the run, maybe even play for the run a little bit. But the risk is once you give up your ground and the ball goes in, not only do you give up the tying run, but the go-ahead run.
Popped him up. Carpenter squeezes for out number 1.
Usually the number's usually higher than that when you're having the kind of afternoon Walker's had, but he's been able to get back in the counts with his good changeup and breaking ball.
Gonzalez at the plate, and they're going to put him on.
Well, we talked about this last night. Mike Matheny and his staff have identified that when Hanley was at the plate last night, he's not going to beat him, and neither is Gonzalez today with Hanley out of the lineup.
That'll bring Yasiel Puig to the plate with the bases loaded.
It does set up the double play, but Puig's not your average person that you can throw out on a double play. Probably the infield will create a force out at home plate.
I think what they see in Puig is a guy that plays in high emotion and a guy that you can go to if you get ahead to strike out.
It's the 22-year-old edge of Yasiel Puig, who bats in a big spot here in game 2 now. Bases loaded. 1 out in a 1-0 game. Shelton Manus in the pen for St. Louis. Puig's 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks. And a big swing and a miss there, 0-1.
Don Mattingly was saying today he does not need to take that big cut. McGuire doesn't want him to take that big cut. He's so strong, all he has to do is make contact. It'll fly out of the ballpark.
Dodgers lead from every base as Puig steps out and Molina will talk to Waka.
Interesting with a veteran Crawford on second base, you have to be thinking that you just want to make sure that there's no relaying of signs. Make them a little more difficult.
Kershaw, who got this started with a leadoff single at third. Crawford reached on an infield single. Gonzalez threw the intentional walk to load him. Puig takes a strike, 0-2.
That's a big call there by the umpire.
First glance, it looked low.
That pitch we talk about down in the strike zone from Walker.
One ball, 2 strikes. Count even 2-2 as Puig bats with the bases loaded.
He saw that pitch pretty well. 3 really hard fastballs. Usually sets up that changeup really well. He didn't bite on it at all. See what Molina likes to do now.
Good idea by Puig. Walker likes to work fast. Make sure you're ready to go.
2-2 misses inside, and now the count full.
Another changeup. He laid off of it, saw it well. Does he have the guts to throw a 3-2 changeup here?
Nope. Problem is that Puig has taken a lot of fastballs for strikes in this series.
I gotta believe this is a fastball count here. He's throwing the fastball by.
And again, time call. Puig steps out, and now Molina will again have a word with Waka.
Sometimes in this situation, they'll go with a verbal signal. You got both the middle infielders in. They'll make a decision on the pitch and don't put a sign down or put some decoy signs down.
You want to check with your pitcher. You want to make sure that he's 100% committed to the pitch he wants to throw.
Another bad one ties the game. And he struck him out. That battle of 22-year-olds goes to the Cardinals' right-hander.
And he didn't give a sign and went with the fastball. And Puig could not lay off of it. The kind of swing that you get caught in between. Am I going to get a changeup? Am I going to get a fastball? I want to make sure it's in the strike zone.
Uribe 0-1. He knocked in both of the Dodger runs in game one. Has 6 runs batted in the last 3 games. And has the bases loaded with 2 out. 96 out of the zone, ball and a strike.
Bases loaded, you get that big second out. You got to kind of reset as a pitcher because you got to do it one more time.
Kershaw, Crawford, Gonzalez, the runners.
Many times you think you're out of it. You're out of the jam, and you're not out of the jam yet.
A ball and 2 strikes to Uribe. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the 6th. The kid pitcher shutting out the Dodgers.
The 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS, brought to you by the new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Every inch, every minute, every second we chip away. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Bottom half of the 6th inning. Michael Wacha, as pumped as you can get after that top half of the 6th, leads it off and takes a strike. So he struck out Puig for the 3rd time for the 2nd out, then got Uribe on strikes to end the inning. Got a healthy cut there. 0-2. Another tough, tight ball game here at Busch Stadium in the NLCS. 3-2 and 13 in game 1. 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Wacha struck out his first time, one of 3 strikeouts for Kershaw. He fights that off. 1-2.
Yeah, not a lot of strikeouts for Kershaw, especially in the conditions, but favorable to the pitch count right now. Only right around 60 pitches thrown.
Here comes the 1-2. Breaking pitch. Got him looking, 1 down. Here in the 6th. Well, you saw the way that last half inning ended. Wacha was pumped up. And look at the veteran, Yadier Molina. As the Cardinals escape a bases-loaded jam. Emotions evident on both sides in that sixth. Dodgers are scoreless in their last 16 innings. Top of the order now, and Matt Carpenter takes a strike. He tripled in the first on the first pitch from Kershaw, but was stranded there, and he grounded out to short in the third. Boy, is that pretty. 0-2.
Yeah, two different types of breaking balls. We saw it from Greinke last night. Really mastered the different types and kept the hitters off stride. That's a slider on the first pitch, and that big, slower hook for the second one.
Missed inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Want to take me inside. Waka right now is a 22-year-old working with a lead and escaping danger like he did in the 6th.
You know,
got 3 innings left.
Yeah, what you're trying to do is really get your motions back on keel.
Grounder to Gonzalez, who will take it himself for the second out. The innovative stat is brought to you by Nissan. Clayton Kershaw's whipped the last 5 seasons. That's hits and walks per inning combined at 1.05. But back to the Cardinals right-hander for a second.
Yeah, I think when you have that big of an emotional moment and you're still in the ball game now, his pitch count is up around 100, so he probably only has 1 more inning to go. So what you're trying to tell yourself, come on, 3 more outs. Let's get this team 3 more outs and I win this game.
Carlos Beltran 0 for 1 with a walk.
And we know he can pitch with high emotion. He pitched in Pittsburgh with a game, an elimination game for St. Louis. And he pitched as well as he's been pitching all season long. Did not affect him.
Ed Beltran fooled way out in front, a ball and 2 strikes. A walk to Beltran in the 4th, the only one issued by Kershaw today. It was quickly wiped out with a double play. And Kershaw strikes him out. 2 more strikeouts here in the 6th for the Dodgers lefty. 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. Here's a look at our Liberty Mutual pitcher comparison. We were looking forward to this matchup in Game 2. Kershaw, Waka, and they have not disappointed, Ronnie.
Just outstanding. You know, Kershaw with 72 pitches. He's going to be able to get, 7-8 innings, maybe a full complete game if they come back.
Waka's first pitch fouled off by Skip Schumacher. That's 102 pitches for the right-hander. Sharply to short. Ozma to Adams, 1 down.
Starting to see better swings on the breaking ball now, which is an indication that the conditions are getting a little bit more even. That was a changeup right there. Schumacher stayed on it and drilled it right at the shortstop.
Mike Matheny conferring with pitching coach Derek Lilliquist of the Cardinals.
St. Louis has a filthy left-hander warming up, Kevin Segrist. A.J. Ellis takes a strike. He's 1 for 2 with a 5th inning double. plenty of pop. 95 from Waka.
Well, Ellis proved he could hit the fastball last time. Start him off the breaking ball, a little bit more careful on a fastball away on the next two pitches. And that was just a perfect pitch. Down in the strike zone on the outside corner.
Craig Sager, what you got?
Well, the Dodgers trying to end this 16 consecutive inning scoreless streak. Andre Ethier and Michael Young both down below in the cages. They've been hitting in between innings, getting ready for possible pinch hit duty.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Ellis tried to check, and Mike Everett says he did. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the count full now to the Dodger catcher. Nick Punto is on deck. Again, if you're just joining us, Dodgers playing without Hanley Ramirez today after he was hitting the ribs in game 1. It was announced as bruised ribs, which we understand taken for x-rays. In the air to left center field, and drifting over is John Jay. 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th.
You see him using his fastball 76% of the time. He's had a great one.
One of the higher percentages for a starter, isn't it?
Yeah, you usually see it 60 to 65%, but
if you had that fastball,
you'd use it more.
Here's Punto. 2 trips, 2 strikeouts, and takes a strike 0-1.
We talked about that downward angle. He seems like he's got it in this inning. A couple of really good low strikes, about 95 miles an hour.
Oh, 2.
It's almost like he's trying to power his way through this inning.
In a flag-waving frenzy here at Busch Stadium. Well hit into center, base hit. Pluto took the 0-2 pitch into center.
Went away from the fastball and tried a changeup. Left it too much over the plate.
Now Clayton Kershaw is due for the Dodgers. Mike Matheny making his way to the mound. A spectacular 6 2/3 for the 22-year-old right-hander. And listen to this crowd.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Well, with 2 outs here in the 7th, the Cardinals have gone to the bullpen. Kevin Segrist comes on.
Well, you see his numbers during the season. This left-hander throws better. You're talking about Dan Plesac before. This left-hander has that kind of arm.
And you heard Craig Sager talking about Michael Young taking swings in the cage. Gets the call here to pinch hit for Clayton Kershaw in the top of the 7th.
That decision took quite a while, but the right decision. You got to take a shot here. Michael Young have one big swing left in him.
Punto, the runner at first, reached on a 2-out single.
effortless 96 right there.
One ball, no strikes to the veteran Michael Young. He came on last night after Gonzalez was pinch run for. Grounded into a double play and wafted the fly ball to right center that Beltran grabbed and threw out Mark Ellis at the plate. Seagrass, another one of those homegrown Cardinal talents who was drafted in 2007, 41st round, 1,235 the pick number. Put up an ERA of 0.45 this year. The 1-1. Over for a strike. 1-2. Young just did get a piece. 1-2. Well, Ronnie, you've been in Michael Wacha's shoes before. You put in a sterling 6.2, and all you can do is watch now as your bullpen comes on.
This is the toughest part of the game, but it's in good hands. Seagrass ended the regular season with a 25-inning scoreless streak. But in the NLDS, 2 for 5 were the right-handed hitters against Seagrass.
He likes his fastball and he's using it. Up as high as 98. Michael Young likes the ball over the plate. Pretty good high ball hitter too. Uses the whole field. It's tough when you don't get regular at bats to come in and pinch hit, because that's where you get your timing down. I'm amazed at guys that can come in and do a pinch hitting job. You have to wipe your head clean and go up there. And most good pinch hitters are aggressive within the strike zone.
Young steps back in. Punto at first. Earned himself a World Series ring with the Cardinals a couple of years ago. The 1-2 in the dirt. Molina blocked it, but Punto advances to second. He's the tying run.
Great attempted block, but even better base running. Ball bounces way out in front of home plate. Not the conventional opportunity to block a ball with your chest protector. Just try to get your body in front of it someplace, almost like a goalie in that respect. Punto read it well, was off as soon as the ball hit the dirt.
And this ball gets all the way back to the screen. Seagrass bounces a couple on consecutive pitches, and now the tying run moves up 90 feet. And now this toughest part of the game got that much tougher for Wacha.
Well, he's trying to throw that changeup, but he's holding on to it too long, twice in a row now. How do you do that? It's just nerves.
And it figures into the pitch selection right now. Do you risk it?
Fastball all the way.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Punto leads from third. Fly ball to right. Beltran has a beat on it. Middle of the 7th. Shutout intact. 1-0. Bottom half of the 7th inning here in St. Louis. Cardinals trying to hold serve here in game 2. They won game 1 in 13 innings. Another tough, tight ball game here today. 1-0, guys, bottom 7. Matt Holliday hit it well, but right at Schumacher for the first out.
You know, Ernie, what I'm looking at is that Greinke and Kershaw delivered. Greinke with an amazing effort, but you lost that game. Kershaw, you're behind in this game. So they've gone 14 innings, your two best pitchers, given up 2 earned runs, and you lost 1 and you're behind in 1.
I feel like I need to apologize to you, Ron and Cal. Holliday swinging at the first pitch. Didn't get you much FaceTime there. You're in the bottom of the 7th. We'll try to do better next time. Belisario outside. 1-0 to Molina. Kershaw lifted for a pinch hitter after working those 6 innings, allowing just the 1 unearned run. Came after a David Freese double in the 5th, and a pass ball got him to 3rd. John Jay brought him home with a sacrifice fly. Ronald Belisario, who worked last night, and a lot of guys did, comes on here in the 7th. 13 pitchers used in game 1, that 13-inning game. And you wonder a little bit on the St. Louis side because Trevor Rosenthal, their closer, went 2 last night. Molina on the ground on a hop. Punto gets it. Nice play at short by Punto. And one of those easy throws to handle on the bounce to Gonzalez.
Goes over, dives, uses the slide to get up. Very athletic. Intentionally bounces it. Adrian Gonzalez does a nice job of not getting out there too soon, reading the ball, stretching down the line, and catching that on the long hop. He's a good first baseman.
So with 2 down, here's Freese, who has scored the game's only run.
If Beltran's not in the middle of the action, Freese is, or so it seems.
Yeah, David Freese definitely has a knack for getting the big hit. He's proven that already in the playoffs in his early career.
Wrote his name into Cardinal lore in 2011 against Texas in the World Series. And Cardinals tried to make his 1 run stand up here in game 2.
I've seen a couple circumstances where Matheny has turned his hitters loose 3-0 today. I suspect this might be one as well.
Taking 3-1.
Yeah, no indication that he wanted to swing at that.
Up the middle, but Ellis shaded that way, throws him out. 1-2-3 inning for Ronald Belisario. 7 innings in the books. 1-0 game in St. Louis.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Time for the Bank of America game break. Looking ahead, game 1 of the American League Championship Series tonight. Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers in Fenway Park to take on David Ortiz. The Red Sox, perhaps a slugger's duel, whereas we've had a couple of great pitching duels here in the National League. BJ?
Segs, look forward to checking that out on Fox as we eat dinner tonight. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Aaron Andrews, Ken Rosenthal will have it covered at Fenway. Here at Busch, it's the top of the 8th. Daniel Descalzo, the new third baseman, David Freese out, and Randy Choate comes in to pitch in the 8th. And with that pitch, he has surpassed the number he threw in game 1. When he came on and retired the guy he's facing now, Carl Crawford, on 1 pitch.
Well, the 38-year-old left-hander just had to come in to face the lefty, but he might have to pitch to a whole inning here. He's got Crawford, Ellis, and then Gonzalez in the 3rd hole.
The life of a matchup lefty.
Crawford's 1 for 3, singled his last time. Reaches out, pops it up. Descalzo over there by the railing, makes the play, 1 down.
That ball will find you, Cal.
Yeah, when you come into the game, you can rest assured that you're going to make the play. That's a tough play because he has to keep his eye on the ball. He's got a sense of where the railing is, but I don't know exactly where it is. But makes a nice catch. He keeps his balance.
One and done for Randy Choate. Carlos Martinez gets the call from Mike Matheny here in the 8th. The 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. Beautiful shot here in downtown St. Louis. We're in game 2 of the NLCS. We are in the 8th in a 1-0 game. And the cat and mouse well underway. Segris came on and faced 1 hitter in the 7th. Retired Michael Young. Choate came on here in the 8th and got Crawford. And now it's Carlos Martinez facing Mark Ellis.
You see this series bullpen has been outstanding. Remember in 2011 when they won their World Championship, their bullpen played such a huge role in their success.
Ellis is 1 out of 3. Takes a strike, 1-1.
In that year, Tony La Russa, a little bit more radical shift. I think the bullpen actually logged more innings than the starters. But here is much more conventional. When you have a pitcher that gives you 7, you have a lot of options to match up in the last 6 outs.
Yeah, Kelly gave him 6 last night in his start, and the bullpen came on and finished up the next 7 scoreless. And a great start from Waka today. And now it's up to the St. Louis pen. Ellis waves at strike 3. 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th.
Outstanding slider from Martinez. He's a guy that they think is going to be a starter at some point for them, but can become a 2-pitch pitcher in the pen. That good sinking fastball and slider.
Ninth strikeout by Cardinal pitching.
Another meeting by Molina just to make sure they're on the same page. Going to be a little careful. Agon has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark here. Puig is on deck.
Gonzalez, 22 home runs and 100 runs batted in the regular season.
Well, I guess if you're going to spot your 98 in that spot, you don't have to be too careful.
Fooled him, 0-2. Well, they got some good young arms on this Cardinals staff. Martinez, another 22-year-old. struck out Gonzalez to end the 8th. Cardinals 3 outs away from taking a 2-0 lead in the NLCS. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, Cal, you got to get DirecTV, and you can call 1-800
DirecTV.
Thank you. It all makes sense.
Hey, thanks for including me in that. It's a new experience.
Know what it means to you. Here's Matt Adams to lead it off in the bottom of the 8th against J.P. Howell. Ball and no strikes.
Well, Howell's one of those crossover left-handers. You can use him against right-handers or left-handers. He's got the good breaking ball, good sinking fastball.
Flexible guy, too. Puts that glove right down there and makes me groan every time I watch him get loose. 2 balls and no strikes. Adams 0 for 2. Lined to first and struck out against Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw went 6, allowed just 1 run unearned. And that's the only run on the board here in St. Louis. There's a strike. 1 and 2. 2 and 1, excuse me. Kenley Jansen loosening for the Dodgers. Gave up the hit to Beltran last night. The 2-1.
The reaction of the hitter, Matt Adams, right here. I'll tell you the whole story. He thought it was outside. I think it was.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Adams, the leadoff hitter here in the 8th. Checked his swing. Ted Barrett confirmed it. Count full.
JP, I don't know if Crafty describes him accurately enough. He doesn't give in. Will throw any pitch at any time. Matt Adams has got to be thinking about a breaking ball in the back of his mind. It's 60% fastballs. It's a little surprising.
Tap towards second. That's Punto, who was playing on that side of the bag, who made the play. 6-3 in the book for the first out.
Kind of felt like 4-3, didn't it?
Looked like 4-3, officially 6-3. And here's John Jay. He has knocked in the day's only run. Sacrifice fly in the 5th. David Freese had doubled off of Kershaw, advanced to 3rd on a pass ball, and then scored on the sacrifice fly to Crawford. Breaking pitch over 0-1.
Asked to drive in the run, then asked to squeeze in the run, then asked to drive in the run, and he got it done.
Yeah, they did try to squeeze him home, but he fouled it back. The other night we saw Uribe try to sacrifice unsuccessfully twice and then put one in the seats. This is how tough and tight a ball game it is when the highlight is a sacrifice fly that you replay as we flash back. But that's how the only run is scored in this game. A ball and a strike to the Cardinals center fielder. Looking ahead to the Dodger ninth. Yasiel Puig, Juan Uribe, Skip Schumacher due. Two balls and two strikes.
One thing JP does really well, I've noticed this, is he controls his own tempo. He throws the ball when he's ready. Even in the highest pressure situations, he seems to stay composed.
The 2-2 is hit well to center field, but Schumacher, after an early slip, recovers to make the play. Want to know the secrets of being a home run hitter? Tim Ferriss shows you how to knock it out of the park. Go to upwave.com/baseball. Schumacher, for just a second, kind of spun his wheels before he made that play in center. Recovered nicely.
Ball was hit well, started a little bit in and across in the angle, but adjusted well. Made a nice running catch.
They had a college football game here, so they had to replace some of the sod. Brought in some soil. Might be the reason that we saw earlier Puig miss a ball in the gap there in this series.
Saw yesterday the ball skipped to the wall for a triple.
13 truckloads of sand they brought in here, so you can see that maybe not completely attached.
It looks beautiful. Sometimes looks and functionality could be different.
You're telling me. No balls and two strikes. Tap foul. 1-2 the count to Cosma, who's 0 for 2. Grounded to second and popped to first. Shane Robinson's got a bat in the on-deck circle. The 1-2 to Cosma. Misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Simply you talked about from earlier in this game. Carpenter with the triple to open the bottom half of the first inning, but they could not score him. The only run coming in the 5th. 2-2 from Howell. Count full.
Used to have a left-hander that closed for you, Randy Myers, that would take a lot of time in between pitches. Howell does the same.
It can be a challenge for if you're an infielder behind a situation like that. You want to say, come on, let's get into a rhythm. Don't put me to sleep here.
Payoff pitch. Down low, 2-out walk to Pete Cosma. So Shane Robinson now will pinch hit. 5'9", 165. Played 99 games this year. takes outside. Robinson has had to overcome a little bit in the course of his career. 2011 playing AAA ball, and he had a collision with Andrew Brown. Broke his cheekbone, broke his finger. Broken finger certainly affected the way he swings the bat, but the broken cheekbone affected the way he eats, and he dropped down to 140. And he got back with a big club as he fouls it off. Got back to the big club in a September call-up in 11, and he says guys would rib him and say, hey, go eat a cheeseburger or something. He was 140 pounds, had never been that light, didn't want to weigh in, didn't want to do anything. But he is stuck with it. All that behind him, and here he bats in the 8th inning of an NLCS game against the Dodgers. 1-0, Cardinals leading, trying to pad it. Mattingly's Dodgers, one more crack at it in the 9th. Robinson waits on a 1-1. Not being made as Howell again throws over to first. In the air, shallow right, over by the line. Puig charging. Guy can cover some ground and makes the play for the 3rd out. 8 innings in the books. A 1-0 game as the Dodgers come to the plate in the 9th. We'll be back. The NBA returns with an opening night doubleheader on TNT. Derrick Rose makes his return to the court when the Heat host the Bulls, followed by the Battle of LA as the Lakers play the Clippers. That's Tuesday, October 29th, only on TNT. Premier Week presented by Autotrader.com. Top of the 9th here in St. Louis.
Rosenthal pitched 2 innings 6 times this year. 2 innings in last night's game, but in the entire season when he did that, he never pitched the next day. It's his first time.
He faces Yasiel Puig to start the 9th. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Puig has yet to put the ball in play. 3 strikeouts in 3 trips. There's a strike from Rosenthal. Threw it by him, 2-2.
Well, the radar gun says he hasn't lost anything. Missed on the first 2 pitches, controlled. The last 2 pitches, 99, right by you.
Big pitch, 3-2. Fouled straight back. You saw those numbers about the Dodgers in the postseason being held scoreless. It was against the Orioles back in the '66 World Series when Mo Grabowski finished off the first game in relief, and then Jim Palmer, Wally Bunker, and Dave McNally shut him out. Strike 3 called to Puig. 4th strikeout of the day.
Just a great pitch on the outside corner. Tough one to hit, tough one to take.
That brings up Juan Uribe. We saw Uribe the other night with the home run in the 8th inning as the Dodgers beat the Braves in the clincher. That was a rarity for this Dodger team. 0-2. because when they trailed after 7 innings, only 4 and 52. But they won that game in the clincher. Ball and a strike to Uribe. 1-2. Two up and 2 down. Both strikeouts from Rosenthal. And the last 4 Dodgers have struck out. And here is Andre Ethier, who started in center field in the marathon opener. Schumacher got the start today. Ethier comes off the bench here in the 9th.
One fastball after another.
If you don't throw 98 miles an hour, you're not even allowed in the Cardinal bullpen.
And 1 strike away. The Cardinals lead the series 2-0. Holding the Dodgers to 2 runs over 22 innings.
Pretty easy when you throw like Trevor Rosenthal.
The conditions were pretty hard early, but no conditions would affect that.
That is a high-octane finish to Game 2.
All fastballs and power. See if you can hit this.
How about the Cardinals taking the best shot of the Dodgers, Greinke and Kershaw, and up 2-0.
Feels like a wasted effort, doesn't it?
Yeah.
2 of the game's best pitchers pitching really well and 2 losses.
The next 3 will be in Los Angeles. Let's go down to Craig Sager.
Well, what a pitching duel between Michael Wacha and Clayton Kershaw. You had it going, throwing a lot of fastballs in there. How tense was it after you came out of the game with a 1-0 lead?
Oh, you know, pretty tense in there, but, you know, our bullpen's clutch, and, you know, they've been pretty clutch all season, and so I knew it was in good hands whenever, you know, I came out of the game and they shut it down for me.
1 run, we didn't know if that would hold up. 6th inning, Dodgers load the bases. Tell us what was going through and take us through that inning.
Oh, geez, I mean, adrenaline was flying high. I was able to get the pop out with on 2nd and 3rd, no outs, and then, you know, walked to Gonzalez, just put him on. He's a dangerous hitter, and, you know, I was lucky enough to get a couple of strikeouts there and, you know, keep our team in the lead there.
22 years old, some of the best pitching performances we've seen against Pittsburgh and now against LA. Are you nervous at all? How do you approach these games?
Not really nervous approaching it, just a little bit more anxiety kind of deal, you know, just sitting around before a game, you know, in a big-time game like this, and, you know, just anxious to get out here. But, you know, once I get out on the mound and throw that first pitch, everything seems to calm down.
Terrific performance. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Back to you, EJ.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Our final score, the Cardinals 1, the Dodgers 0. Tune in Monday at 7:30 Eastern with MLB postseason pregame on TBS presented by Jeep. For Ron Darling, Cal Ripken, Craig Sager, and the rest of the crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night from St. Louis. TBS is your exclusive home of the NLCS. Now stay tuned for the postseason show on TBS presented by Johnny Walker. Remember to drink responsibly.